Welcome to my voiceover world.
Hello,
Hey,
how are you?
doing good, and you?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Thanks for willing to do this, Keith.
Absolutely, Sebastian, it's my pleasure.
I've been wanting to say this to you, but it's been 4 years since we saw each other, and ooh, I was so young back then. And
Yeah,
honestly, I was a bit unprofessional back then, but then I've learned from experience from not only me attending conventions, but also through my parents' guidance and everything that's what led to my success right there.
good for you. I'm so glad to hear that. We all go through a period of learning. I'm, getting up there in years, but I still am learning every day. So I'm, it's good to recognize what you've learned. And it's really great to be back with you.
It is nice seeing you again, my friend.
You too.
You know, there's is a few questions, but there's one of them in mind that I should have asked you a long time ago. But do you remember the very first character that you voiced as like a very long time ago? And what was the experience like for you?
I'm trying to think of the first character that I voiced. My first voice job was I was in college and there were some guys who made a video of Yosemite and they called it the 10 Trails of Yosemite. And I was a college student and they posted a audition sheet on the call board and I went in and I auditioned and they gave me the job, and that video ended up running on television inside Yosemite for 20 years or more. My parents took my grandparents to Yosemite and they turned on the TV, and my dad goes, "Hey, wait a minute. I think that's your grandson who's talking about these 10 trails." So that's a long time ago. That was 1985. Um, but
1985. Hmm.
Yeah, a few years ago now. And so that was the one of my first voiceover jobs. I was also on radio for years before that. Um, but in terms of character,
Hmm. If I'm not
I'm
mistaken, I believe that your very first character was in that show called Duckman. Am I right?
yes, Duckman.
It
I
was
was
the
I
ninja, the third one.
the third ninja. I was actually a PA working on Duckman, and it was a live action episode of Duckman. And I played a live action ninja that came busting through the doors and took a stance. So that wasn't really a voiced role. Maybe the character I played on Real Monsters
You mean
might have been.
Real Monsters?
Ah, Real Monsters. Yes. Uh,
Interesting.
the
So that
character was
was your first ever
called
character,
Blib. I
Bilb.
think, yeah, that was the first one.
Interesting.
It
So
was
that was,
fun.
yes, indeed. You want to know something? I
Yeah.
did do a voice showcase for a certain someone from that show, or should I say, two of them who are involved in that show. The two of them were Michael Dorn and Keith Sarabaiha, who I did voice showcases about on my YouTube channel. Everybody, I gained 1,000 views of it because of what I did.
Amazing. Good for you.
Yeah,
Um, Keith Sarabika is a good friend of mine.
yes,
So Keith. Michael Dorn, I don't know as well, but Keith Sarabika and I have worked together a few times. He's a
yes.
good guy.
Especially in Mass Effect, of course,
Of course.
where he does the Harbinger, the main villain of the entire series,
That's right.
the current leader of the Reapers after Peter Joseph.
Hmm. Yep. Peter Jessup is those are all again, we all kind of know each other. It's fun to hear about their exploits.
That's interesting to hear from you. Liking it. I just wanted to gain the knowledge of just in case if I ever do a voice showcase for you, which I
Yes.
told you about that. I just wanted to make sure I do it in chronological order to gain to in order to, not only to give you the recognition you deserve, but to help you jog your memory to for some characters right there. Just like
Yes.
many others for about 4 years that I've done it for.
You have been doing this a while, and you're just getting better and better at it. I really enjoy your background you have. I like the voiceover world over your right shoulder, and I love the puzzle pieces over your left shoulder. I think that's excellent.
There are two things you must know. Number one, the puzzle pieces right there represents autism, and because I accept autism as a unique ability to help a lot of people in the world, that's why I used it to help impact a lot of people, such as you, Keith, along with everyone else. And the best part, the second thing is that this logo here represents what I'm going to do eventually. Going to be in the voiceover industry, working with you and everyone else. That's why I've been putting my voice out there in my videos that I've done. That way, everyone can see just how good I am with getting myself out there.
You're getting out there. It's nice to see how well you're doing. What have you been up to in the last 4 years since I saw you? You've built this voiceover world. I know you've been to a lot of conventions. You're putting yourself out there, and it's all really exciting to see. Is there anything else that I should know about what you're doing? Because I'm interested in you and what you're doing.
Well, to answer your questions, I have been going to college and actually been, doing the refreshment math since it's been 3 years since I've taken math. And right now, I'm going to take the final exam, which is why I'm studying so that I can pass the grade and finally move on to the new math. And not just the new math, for the new semester, of course, to an intro to theater where the professor I'll be doing it with, he's a voice actor himself who is involved in One Piece, and learning from that guy will be the one of the few challenges I'm going to do to develop my skills and to become who I am. Which,
Excellent.
yeah, and also I have been doing a trying to seek some opportunities to get myself out there.
Great.
Oh, by the way, I'm about to get to the questions of the characters, but
Yes.
the recent characters that you played as. But I did talk to you about Thane Kraos long ago, which is why the new characters will be this. How does it feel about stepping into the role of Masamachi Sanati in Yakuza Judgment? What do you like most about being in that video game?
It was really fun to play a detective, to play someone who was on the case. Um, that was the best part of that was, so often like played some bad guys like Kellogg in Fallout 4. I played some good guys, Thane in Mass Effect. He was a tortured soul, but he was sort of an alien type. This guy was just a blue collar detective, and being able to play that um, was really, really fun. And to be on a mystery, to be trying to figure out the case was a lot of fun for me. Really enjoyed that.
Interesting. So that's what you like about being in that game. Because
Yes.
you being part of that entire franchise was just a very unique thing, especially when you got to interact with a lot of people, such as Greg Sean through Fred Tatasciore, even Crispin Freeman and everyone. And the best part is, Keith Aram, who I got to meet with months ago, did a good job bringing you into the game, directing you, and even brought you into that game that come on like 2 years ago by the name of Like a Dragon Geddon as H and Seago. Am I right?
Yes, indeed. That was a smaller part that I don't remember very well. Um, but anytime I get to work with Keith Aram, as you know, is a day that I look forward to. He has a wonderful studio. He has a beautiful family. His studio is in his home. So when you go over to go to work, you really get to see like his dogs, who are lovely, his wife Valerie, who I'm sure you've met. Uh,
Indeed.
she's wonderful. Sometimes their kids are around, and it's fun to talk with them. Um, and they're just wonderful people who are doing great work, um, putting out video games that are really top notch. And I always look forward to going over there, just not only for the work, but just to catch up and to see them because I just love those people as people.
Indeed they do. Well then, playing Leviathan in Chocobo GP must have been so exciting, right? So what's your most favorite aspect about bringing that character into the game?
Well, I'll tell you, I use this when I'm teaching a lot. I use this as an example, Leviathan, because when the audition sheet came to me, it said it was an older character with a British accent who was very sad. If you know Leviathan from the Mass Effect series of games, Leviathan in the game that I directed, Final Fantasy 15, with Robbie and Ray and Max. Leviathan was the character, the sea god that actually ended up taking the life force from Luna, who was the love interest. And it made Noct, the main character, very, very sad. So this is a character that is huge, godlike, and now is a like a Mario Kart type of character, right? So they wanted it to be sad, like it was a god who is sad to be such a small character in this big game. So I thought about the character, and I have a voice that I do, which is sort of a British butler. It's sort of in here, right? It's very proper and very British, and he's sort of upstanding. And if you need a butler, I'm happy to help. So there was that character, which I just do all the time. But he was older, so I added a little extra breathiness to the voice to make him a little older. Put him in here, right? It just feels like he's a little bit older. And then when they said that he was sad, then I thought of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, which is way down here. He's very sad. Eeyore is, sort of a sad sack. So I blended all of those characters together. I had the butler, who was a little bit older, and then I added the sadness, and I brought him down into here. And it was just this wonderful amalgamation of characters that all then became the Leviathan that you hear in that game. So it was pulling a little bit from this character and a little bit to make him older, and then giving him the Eeyore treatment created that whole character, which I was very, very pleased to play. Um, and it was just a blast.
That's most interesting to hear from you, Keith. You know, there are two things I wanted to tell you, but well, number one, your voices that you show me right now, you know who you make me think of?
Who's that?
Doug Stone and Peter Cullen. When you were doing that Butler voice, you sounded this close to Doug Stone right there, since he pretty much did a lot of Butler characters right there.
Yes,
And
yes.
and Peter Cullen, you are this close, right next to both Jim Maskaman and Peter Cullen right there. And that's
Well,
the truth that I'm beginning to hear clearly so far.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Those are wonderful performers.
Yes. Number two, you being part of that game was just like the most awesome thing right there. Plus, I give props to Wyatt Bowen for directing you throughout the entire game, especially when you get to interact with Laura Pose, Lizzie Freeman, Christina V, Keith Silverstein, even Keith Sarabiha was in there too, where he does literally Gilgamesh.
It's a small world, isn't it?
Yes, it is indeed. Well then, in Tactics Ogre Reborn, what stood about you voicing the character Baxaphilian V. Rems, or V. Rems for short?
Gosh, that's one that I don't remember at all. It
Well then,
might have been, was that another?
Tactics Ogre Reborn around
Yeah,
2000, as I
that
recall, it was around that year.
I
Was
might have had a very small role in that if I'm remembering correctly.
tact
I think I was a character that guarded a gate, and
you
basically my whole character was, "You'll never get past this gate." And then you defeated me. And I went, "Ah!" And I think that was the extent of the character.
yeah, that is it right there.
Was
That's
that it?
ex
That might have been it.
that is it right there. You are correct. And
Sometimes
it's
you go in for these sessions and they're so short. And that was another session where I think Keith, um, Keith Aram and I, we spent more time just talking about things, about our lives, about our kids, about the voiceover industry than we actually did recording that character. And that's always what's also fun about going over there, is being able to just hang out and catch up.
hmm, well, that's nice to hear from
But
you,
thank you
Keith.
for asking about that one. That was one that was a little, is this the character I'm thinking of?
Yes, you are correct, sir. You are correct. Mm-mm. Hmm. Sabatha in Grand Blue Fantasy Relink must have been such a legendary character you played as, right? So what made that role so special to you?
He was a lot of fun. I loved, because he's a big guy with dark glasses and kind of a mercenary, bit of a pirate type of dude. And it was just really fun to be able to live in that kind of badass. He was right in here. And the Japanese actor, um, it was fun. The producers were on the call, and they had someone translate for me, and he said that the Japanese voice actor is one of his favorite voice actors in Japan, and that he thought I was doing a really nice job of performing it in English, and that I became one of his favorite English voice actors. So I don't know if maybe he said that to everybody.
Huh.
It was a lovely thing for him to say. That was also during COVID. I recorded that, and another PCB game with Keith and Val directing, and they sent over a suitcase that had plus a microphone and a microphone stand and a pop filter. And I set it all up in this room and was able to perform here from home. And it felt almost like I was in a spy movie, because it was a big silver suitcase and it was like, you opened it up and there was a little Mac Mini in there, and there was an interface and you had to plug it in. You plugged the whole thing into the wall and you plugged the microphone into the box, and you got it all set up, and then you were ready to record. And then afterwards, I had to break it all down like a spy and put it back out on the front porch. And then they would come and pick it up and wipe it down so that the next actor could use it. So that was an interesting recording session, because they wanted it all to sound the same, because we all have our studios here at home, right? But everybody's booth sounds a little bit different. So the Arams um, created a way to make sure that everything sounded as similar as it could possibly sound. So they sent the same gear to the house that you would set up, record, break it down, then it would go to another actor who would use exactly the same gear to record there. So they were able to get a really seamless sound to that game, um, without having to do a lot of extra work fiddling with EQ and stuff like that. It was
Well,
fun.
Well, that's most interesting to hear from you. And I didn't even know that the Japanese voice actor called you his favorite until right now. But I'm glad you started telling me this. Because you being part of that game was just very brilliant. For you being a part of an anime game was just the most genius move the ARMs have ever done. Especially when your character gets to be alongside with Richard Epcar, Bill Millsap, and everybody else throughout the entire game. That's what makes this very genius right there.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a really good time, and to be in a game with those guys, even though you don't get to see them because we were all in our separate houses recording separate stuff. But I see Richard, doesn't live too far from me. And Bill has been directing an anime that I'm a part of called Sakamoto Days,
You're
which
a
is,
part of Sakamoto Days?
yeah,
Holy crap! I did not know you were in it until you told me. Thank you so much for telling me this.
you are welcome, Sebastian. It's my pleasure.
Now everyone will know of this.
I'm
Jerry
I'm
Genius.
very sneaky. You may miss me. I do a lot of mumbling, and I'm really handy with a sword. That's all I will say.
Oh,
Go
now
see
then.
if you can find me in
Oh,
Saka.
I will. That's why I have a good listening ear for a
Oh,
reason.
there you go.
Guess that's what autism does for me. Give me abilities to hear and recognize anybody right there, including
Yeah,
yours, Keith.
it's like a superpower.
Indeed it is.
You have a superpower ears.
Yep. Now then, being part of Pluto as the voice of Mount Blanc and Becker must have been so cool, right? So what made these roles super awesome to you?
I loved playing Mont Blanc. I it was funny because when I got I like I'm a little bit of an Astro Boy fan. Astro Boy was around, it came out when I was a kid, when I was really young, a little bit before, early 60s, when the original came out. So when I found out that I was cast, I went back and I looked at the original from the 60s. And that's when I've discovered um, that Mont Blanc doesn't live very long in the series. He is the first robot. He is beloved by the people, but he is the first robot to be killed by the Sheik. So I thought, oh, and I think it's a character that I think is on the main page on Netflix too, but it's a very small role. I think I only have one or two lines. But it's an important role because it gets the story started, right? The killing of Mont Blanc is what begins this detective story to find out who's killing the robots and where will the case lead. And then to be able to play the character that was the
Becker.
again a Becker, the detective, who was in Gesik's ear the whole time, was again really fun. And he is a character that was fun to play because he kind of has high blood pressure. He's very stressed out and very tense. And so that was a character that was a lot of fun to play because of the tension, which is always exciting to sort of play that fear and that anger at this character that's out there in the world doing things that maybe aren't by the book, which my character is very much by the book. And to not be able to totally control him is great drama
Well,
because my
that's
character wants control, police, right? But the agent that's on the case is out of my control. So that's a great way to play the frustration and how do I gain control back. So to be able to play with that was just really fun. And I also got to work with Patrick Seitz, who you probably know from many of his performances, many of which I've directed. And to be able to have him as the director on this project, and he also oversaw the translation of the project. This was a project that was really near and dear to Patrick's heart. So to be able to be a part of something that means so much to a friend of mine was really special.
Hmm.
So to shout out to Patrick Seitz for doing a brilliant job adapting and directing that project. Again, a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
That's most interesting to hear from you, my friend,
Thank
because
you.
you being part of an anime show was the most best move that was ever made by not only you, but by Patrick Seitz and everybody else. But I'll tell you this, the more anime you get into, the more popularity you're going to get. Very soon, you might end up becoming a sensei or a mentor, something like that will help define the anime legacy forever. Just like how Josh Keaton and Jessica DiCicco got themselves into anime since 2015. So you, my friend, shall do the same.
Thank you.
And you want to know the best part?
Yeah,
I made a video about the characters and voice actors of Pluto 2 years ago. I included you in there to help give you the recognition you deserve. And you want something so funny? I put you next to Keith David right there. Since you and him work together in Mass Effect, I have a
yes.
thought that putting you two next to each other will be something funny there.
We're two of the Keiths. We're two of the Keiths, along with
Yes,
Keith,
indeed.
Keith Silverstein, Keith Ferguson, Keith Sarabica, Keith David, and Keith Farley. I guess we all
Yes.
on one hand.
But hey, That's why that's why I made that video for not only that, but to help give everybody what they deserve. That's why my video gained 1,000 views right there, all because of the hard work I put into. And having you recognized makes everyone be like, "Oh my God, he is such very awesome," everybody says. So yeah, that's a fact to tell you, Keith.
Thank you. I appreciate you putting me in there. That was a really wonderful project to be on.
Of course, but many more will be for you eventually when that time comes.
I hope so.
Indeed, it will be, and that's my job. Now, Studiovis Varius, or just Varius in Horizon Forbidden West, what do you like most about voicing that character in that game?
He is a great character because he is someone that you love to hate. He is such a he is a holier than thou character. He is by the book. I had this great little scroll that I got to use and had a nice prop. And to be able to really, I was on set with Ashley Birch, who is a dear friend of mine. I love her very much. And to be able to act with her on the volume, on the set together, was really the joy of that project. And getting to work with some more really, really great directors. Um, I had that session was, there were many sessions for that character, and I got to do many different styles of performance. I did some work with just where they captured just my face. And then I did the main scene was on a set with Ashley, where I got to perform the scene with other actors. And then for the final scene where Studio Vadis gets his comeuppance, um, I got to go and perform again and do a voiceover session for his death scene. So I got to do a little bit of everything on that project, and that's what was fun about that one for me.
Interesting. So that's what you like most about being in that game, because you being part of it was just very awesome right there. Especially when you can interact with Ashley Burch and also Lance Riddick,
Yes,
may he rest in peace, and
very.
Josh Keaton and everybody else there. You being part of it, genius move ever, right there, my friend.
Thank you.
It's what I do best always. Being part of the anime movie Ino as Tomina's father must have been so awesome, right? So what's the most thrilling thing about being part of that film?
it was really fun. That was another one that I think I recorded during COVID. So I was here in my booth, which is right behind the camera here, and they sent the feed into the booth. So I was looking at the pictures, and the fun part of that one was how sincere they wanted me to play it. I hadn't done very much dubbing at that point. That was one of the first dubs I ever did. Um, and to have permission from the director to be sincere, to be, because sometimes in anime, and I'm sure you know this, the characters are very big and very broad in their expression. Um, and so to be able to be a little smaller, to be able to really care about my son, and to be someone also at the beginning. I remember we went over it a few times and they just let me relax into it. Said, oh, try it again. Just relax into it. You are frustrated, but don't be tense frustrated. Be like almost like you're about to give up, frustrated, weary. And so as a weary kind of dad. And then to be able to come back and be the helper character to the main character in that show was really fun and really neat, and got some comic relief in there as well. That's one of my favorite. I like that movie a lot. Have you seen Inu-Oh?
Yes, you are correct. And I've got to meet some of the people of that show. The movie I meant. Oh,
Uh-huh.
and here's the real kicker. You being part of it was just very good. Plus, the director you're about to mention, Michael Certenicolas, did a good job directing you throughout the entire show. Especially when you just stood up to Stephanie Shea herself and you just became very good to you right there.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Stephanie's a dear friend, and to be able to, I think she was casting director on that as well. I think she was the one that brought me in.
y-
So I'm grateful to her for that opportunity, because what a great movie to
yeah,
sort of blend feudal Japan with like heavy metal rock, and to tell this story that is told in Japan about these bards who are amazing popular musicians of their day, and to fuse that with the energy of rock and roll was just brilliant. And to be a small part of that was a really great honor. That DVD has a special place on my shelf.
indeed. Speaking of another project you and Stephanie are part of, which you're gonna love this question, but as art in Date Everything, what's your most favorite thing about bringing that character in the entire game?
It was the joy that we had in the sessions, with Amanda and Julia and Ray, um, and Robbie for a while. Robbie directed the first session that I was in, and working at Studiopolis and being on in the booth. Um, but the booth, like, we have this idea that soundproof booths, they aren't really soundproof. It takes a lot to make a booth that no sound can get through. Um, but the booths block a lot of sound, but not all of it. So being able to do lines in Date Everything that were so funny, and to be able to hear just the faintest little bit of laughter coming from the other room. They were laughing so hard that I could hear them in the booth. And you don't often get that feedback between what I'm doing and what's happening on the other side. Sometimes when I'm directing, Sebastian, I'll tell you a little secret. Um, and the actor is in the booth and it's something is funny. What I will do is I'll open the microphone so that the actors can hear the people with me and hear me laughing, because that energy that goes back and forth between a performer and the audience is something we don't often get in voiceover. So I like to try to provide a good audience for the actors that I work with. And if it's funny, I want them to hear the laughter if they can. So if there's something funny that happens at the end of a take, I will open that microphone and let them hear the laughter that's going on in the room. And so when I played Art in Date Everything, the laughter that we had doing those sessions, because it's very, very funny, it's very, very silly, and it's also really heartfelt. So I was able to play this character that was kind of flamboyant, but it was just Art has huge enthusiasm for his drawings and his paintings. And to be able just to play enthusiastically with them for 8 hours was one of the best sessions I had last year, or two of them anyway. One that Robbie directed and one that Amanda directed. And both of them were just a joy. And boy, is that a star-studded cast, right?
Yes, they are. You being part of that game was just the most brilliant thing that both Robbie, Ray, Amanda, and Julia both did right there. Plus, for anyone noticing this, skip 10 seconds for you're about to see this, but I'm going to be making a video for you about Date Everything, characters and voice actors to give you the recognition you deserve.
Thank you, my friend. That was great fun. And it's a fun game. It's a
Yes,
fun
indeed.
get out there and play it. It's very silly and goofy and also very sweet and heartfelt. So
And
I hope that folks will support it. It's on all the platforms. You can get Date Everything on your PlayStation, on your Switch, on your Xbox, on Steam, of course. And I hope that people will go and support these guys because it really is an independent game. They dreamed this game up and they made it a reality. And if you want to support that, if you think that's important, um, go buy a copy and support them with your dollars. It's great to have big games that Sony makes. It's wonderful to have big games that are made by these wonderful studios and big entertainment companies. But I also love the games that are made by small teams of people who really care and love this industry, actors, good writing, good directing, really fun gameplay. It's a game that is really special. And I think folks will really like it if they jump in. Go get Date Everything.
indeed.
My
That's very nice to hear from you, my friend. Elroy Harward in The Legends of Heroes Trials Through Daybreak must have been the most coolest character you played as, right? So what's your most favorite aspect about being that character throughout the entire franchise?
There's nothing more fun than playing a spectacular villain. It's just really, really fun to get to be flamboyant and gesturing and to have this opportunity to just be have so much fun being bad. You know, it's you don't ever get to do that in real life. It's one of those characters that's just a real joy to play. And again, with the Arams, I'm grateful to them for that opportunity as well. Um, and it's just great to be part of that franchise and to be able to sort of torment the players on my little theatrical island um, could not have been more fun. Again, a lot of good laughter, a lot of good times, a lot of great work making the character work as a dub. You know, the when you're on screen and when you're off screen and making sure that the timing and everything is right. The technical aspect of it and working with Valerie um, to get to that place was really fun. But the best part was just being able to gesture wildly and have a wonderful time being the bad guy.
Well, that's the most interesting thing I'm beginning to hear from you. because you being part of that game was the most exciting but genius thing you have ever done. Plus, I give props to Valerie for directing you throughout the entire game, especially when your character can interact with a lot of people, such as with Chris J. Alex, and not just with Chris J. But you also get to interact with autistic voice actor Damien Haas, who is also on Date Everything, through Brittany Cos, even Dave Fenoy is in there, and everybody else there. And that's why I love about you being part of these type of projects right there. Just by showing your good aspect of not only your villainy, but by you also.
Thank you. It was really, really fun. And anytime you get to play a fabulous villain, I think you'd be really good uh, as a villain who's having fun being bad. That would be a good character for you because you have so much fun. Your enthusiasm is so contagious that I think if you just took that step into that fabulous villainy to love creating chaos, it would be really fun for people to hear.
Indeed. Well, see,
There it is
oh,
right there.
well, Keith, it is
Laugh.
such an honor to finally meeting you after 4 years, and because of my development from everybody else, it just led to me becoming who I am. And supporting you as you do to me is the most brilliant thing that puts a lot of joy in my heart.
Same. I enjoy your birthday wishes. I thank you for that, for remembering my birthday and posting. And I love to see your posts on social media. And it's nice to see when you are meeting people at conventions and just to see the development of your channel and your embrace of your autism as a gift um, is really wonderful for me too. So I
Of
know
course.
we'll stay in touch. And I want to ask a favor before we go. Would you please say hello to Robbie and Ray and Max for me?
Oh, you know what? I was gonna ask you the same thing, but you just read my mind and you just spill it out for me. But you know what? I am definitely going to tell them this. That way they understand that you of all people come to support me and you do the same for me in return. That's the And you want to know the best part? They they are the three of them have been my big fans of my YouTube channel, especially Max, since he told me himself that he's been looking at my videos like if he's a fan or something. And he finally
Yeah,
got to meet me like in person. And and the best part is you might like this part, but in December, I got to meet with Max again after 3 years, and I almost cried because he remembers me so well because of the recent videos I've done for him lately. And Max and I, we've been interacting on Instagram lately, and that's had me wondering that meeting him will get again will just be very splendid right there, especially when having the three of them for the picture together.
all in the same place.
Yes.
Doesn't happen every day.
Of course. There's
So
one more
please say
thing.
hi for
Oh,
me. Yes. What
I
else?
will. I will say hello. But there's one more thing I wanted to ask you. But when people look back on your work, how do you want to be remembered as a voice actor?
Wow. Thank you for that question. It's very thoughtful. Um, I think the fun of acting and what I most enjoy about it is being able to inhabit different characters, being able to play Thane Krios, who is a assassin monk, right? He's a very prayerful monk type character. And then to play Kellogg in Fallout, who is like a damaged
A,
character,
a
also an
damaged
assassin,
soldier.
a damaged soldier indeed. And then to be able to play Santa Claus on Alien Xmas and to be able to enjoy that role. And then to play a flamboyant bad guy. And then to play Zathba, who's like the sort of
And Neptune from Winx Club.
and Neptune from Winx Club, which was a so the versatility to be able the ability to play different roles, different characters, and bring humanity to them, to be able to bring heart and soul to the characters that I play. That's how I'd like to be remembered.
Of course, and that's the reason why I am very desperate to working with you in the industry. And when that time comes, it will be a lot of pleasure to finally understand so much about you and everybody else that I wanted to know so much about whenever we meet in person.
I look forward to that day. That's going to
Yes,
be
you will. Well, Keith, it's such an honor to meeting you again after 4 years, and I'll be seeing you around through social media, my friend.
Thank you, Sebastian. I wish you all the best. Please keep me up to date with everything that's happening in your life, because I've seen so much growth since I saw you 4 years ago, and I can't wait to see what you learn from your acting teacher and what you bring to this world of voice acting. I'm excited to see what you have in store.
Thank you so much, Keith. It
My
really
pleasure.
means a lot to me. I'll be seeing you around,
Thank
my
you, my friend.
friend.
We'll see you soon.
Okay,
Bye now.
bye. Want to keep up with my journey? Follow me on social media for more updates, behind the scenes moments, and all the fun along the way.